Hello friends, welcome to Vamsi's Golden Series for IAS. Hope you have taken environment test. Now with the help of those 80 questions, I would like to revise the entire module of environment in just 1 to 1.5 hours. So it will help you during the last day. You can just watch it. It will be a good revision for you. So let's start. Hope you have taken the test. Environment 2017 test which was given to you. If you have not taken, first take the test, then watch this video. With the help of those 80 questions, I am going to revise the entire module. In quick time, it is going to be very helpful to you. Like you have only 2 days left, it is a good revision for you. So you know that I have divided environment into 5 modules, 5 parts: introduction, wetlands, biodiversity, climate, environmental laws, movements, current updates, etc. So I am summarizing this with the help of those questions. First, I want you to know certain basic definitions like what is an organism. Suppose if you have a rabbit, that is an organism. Fundamental functional unit in ecology. What is population? Organisms of same species that are in proximity to one another. There is a group of rabbits, that is population. What is community? Populations occupying a given area, that means group of rabbits and group of monkeys, group of donkeys, different populations together is community. What is ecosystem? This community along with environment is called ecosystem. If you add environment also, that is ecosystem. What is biome? All ecosystems of similar type, almost similar vegetation and all, like all deserts in the world, it is a biome. And what is biosphere? It is the all ecosystems of the world. That means wherever there is life, that is biosphere. More definitions. What is niche? Ecological niche. There might be many species sharing the same ecosystem, but they have their own unique style of living in that ecosystem, or they have their own functional role in that ecosystem. That is known as the ecological niche. Ecotone. It is the transition area between two ecosystems. Example is mangroves, a transition area between forest and marine. Similarly, edge effect. Generally in such ecotone area where there is a transition of edge of two ecosystems, the greater diversity of life will be there. That concept is known as edge effect. Ecocline. This is a gradual continuous change in the species composition between two ecosystems. एक ecosystem से दूसरे ecosystem में gradually how that species structure is changing, it is explained by ecocline. And what is keystone species? These species have disproportionately large effect on its environment relative to its abundance. They affect that whole ecosystem, that is keystone species. Ecological succession. Ecological succession means it is a process of change in the species structure of an ecological community over time. Over a period of time, how that ecosystem is changing, that is ecological succession. There are 2 types. Primary succession, that means it is a gradual growth of an ecosystem over a longer period. For example, if a grassland is slowly converted to a forest, that is primary succession. And secondary succession means already existing ecosystem, after getting some disturbance, like a forest is under fire, after fire, forest fire, again if it develops, that is known as secondary succession. Hope you understand. Now see the first question. Which of the following best describes the term ecotone? Look at the options. You can easily say it is option D. A transition area between two biomes where two communities meet and integrate. ये देखिए the part of the earth which is inhabited by living organisms. Wrong. That is called biosphere. B देखिए the region which is saturated with biodiversity. अगर saturated with biodiversity होगा तो it is a mega diverse country बोलो या biodiversity hotspot बोलो, like that. C, an area which has significant levels of biodiversity with the high levels of endemism and threat from human interference. This is known as biodiversity hotspot. So D the answer. Second question, which of the following is true with respect to keystone species? So keystone species is a species that has disproportionately large effect on its environment relative to its abundance. So option A is correct. B, C, D देखिए wrong है. If you look at, you will understand. If you want, you can pause it and watch. Otherwise, if you have taken the test, no need to explain. So why I have asked these 2 questions is to make you understand these definitions. Next, you need to understand abiotic components. साइंस का कंसेप्ट है, इसमें 3 चीज आपको बताना चाहिए. फर्स्ट इज इनऑर्गेनिक सब्सटेंसेस. What are inorganic substances? These are required for living organisms. So the various life process of living organisms require these substances. Again, I divide these substances into two types. Macronutrients, नाम से ही पता लगेगा. Macronutrients means these substances are needed in large amounts. These are required very much. Examples are, remember these examples. Carbon, hydrogen, no need to mug up. You all know that. Carbon is very important. Hydrogen is very important. Nitrogen is very important. These are basic requirements for living beings, right? So carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, potassium, calcium, sodium, magnesium, iron, phosphorus, sulfur. These are macronutrients. These are required in large quantities. And micronutrients, these are substances which are needed in smaller amounts. Examples are copper, manganese, selenium, zinc, molybdenum, boron, silicon, etc. Then I want you to understand organic substances. Organic substances are formed as a result of degradation of various dead and decomposed bodies of organisms. Dead body से बनता है या excretory material of different organisms इससे बनता है. They are carbohydrates, proteins, lipids. Decomposition में बनता है. Okay, carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. याद रखें. Then ecological factors. If you see climatic factors like light, temperature, rainfall, atmospheric gases, atmospheric humidity, etc. We have edaphic factors like soil. We have topographic factors like altitude, steepness. We have sunlight, which reaches in visible form, visible light, and Earth will re-radiate it in the form of infrared radiation. And we have atmospheric gases. You know, nitrogen is major, oxygen, argon, ये बाद में बताऊंगा मैं. So ये blindly याद रखें, broadly याद रखें. Take the third question. Macronutrients are those substances which are required for living organisms in large quantity. Which of the following are macronutrients? So I want you to remember what are major macronutrients. If you see boron, copper, these are micronutrients. We don't require boron and copper in large. Copper से क्या करेंगे? Copper इतना ज़्यादा नहीं चाहिए हमको. Option B देखिए, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, potassium. Yes, we require all these. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen are very important. Even potassium. C देखिए, carbon, nitrogen, manganese, silicon we don't require much. Similarly, zinc, silicon we don't require much. So B is option. These are macronutrients. 4. Consider the following: carbohydrates, proteins, lipids. Which of the above are organic substances? I want you to understand what are organic substances. That's why I gave this question. So carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, all are organic substances. These are formed in the process of decomposition, right? Degradation of bodies. So all three. D also. Next, third concept, one more question. Consider the following statement. Earth receives the sun energy only in the form of infrared end of the spectrum. No, not infrared end. It receives in the form of visible light. So one is wrong. 2. Earth re-radiates the sun heat only as ultraviolet rays. ये भी गलत है. Earth re-radiates in the form of infrared rays. So both are wrong. So neither 1 nor 2 is correct. D is the answer. Next, I want you to understand the composition of air. In the composition, major is nitrogen. About 78% of the atmosphere is nitrogen, followed by oxygen. 21% is oxygen. Then only 1% is left. Out of that, 0.93% is argon. So argon is third largely abundant, followed by carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is fourth large. If you see, after nitrogen, oxygen, it is argon, then carbon dioxide, which is approximately 0.038%. I want you to remember at least these four: nitrogen, oxygen, argon and carbon dioxide. Getting me? Nitrogen का importance क्या है? It plays an important role in slowing the rate of burning and controlling the consumption in respiration and other biological and physical processes. Not very important, just leave it. But it is very important. Carbon dioxide present in the air absorbs the infrared rays and keeps the earth warm. So CO2 is very important. If there is no CO2, which is naturally present in the atmosphere, if it is not there, earth will cool down very rapidly and the global average temperature will become minus 19 degrees centigrade. That means again ice age आ जाएगी. So carbon dioxide जो naturally present है, it is very important. But अभी प्रॉब्लम क्या है? बिकॉज ऑफ एंथ्रोपोजेनिक सोर्सेस CO2 का लेवल इतना ज्यादा हो गया तो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग हो रहा है. अदरवाइज नेचुरली अकरिंग CO2 इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इवन इफ दैट इज नॉट देयर, अर्थ विल बिकम अगेन फ्रोजन आइस. ओके, सो दैट्स व्हाई again you understand the resource of water. About 97% of earth's water is in oceans. That means only 3% is available for us as fresh water. So understand, only 3% is available for fresh water. Out of 2.3% is in polar ice caps. Again, it is not for use, though it is fresh water which cannot be used. So 0.7% of water on earth is only available for as fresh water for use. Understand this word. So 3% is available as fresh water, 0.7% is only available for use. Out of that also major is groundwater, followed by rivers and streams. Getting what I mean? So keep these figures in mind. That's why I gave this question, sixth question. First statement, carbon dioxide is most abundantly found in atmosphere after nitrogen and oxygen. No, it is wrong. Not carbon dioxide. After nitrogen and oxygen, it is argon. If the naturally available carbon dioxide in the atmosphere would not have been there, the average global average temperature reduces to -19. Yeah, -19 or -18 is not important. The exact figure is not important. The broad idea is important. Yes, if the naturally occurring CO2 is not there, the global average temperature is going to go down. So, and Earth will be covered with ice. It is correct. So, 2 is correct. 1 is wrong. Are you getting me? B is the answer. Seventh question, consider the following statements. Statement 1, only 3% of water available on earth is fresh water. Yes, for fresh water for use. ऐसा लिखा होगा तो गलत है. Use में नहीं, but fresh water 3%. It is correct. Of the total fresh water found on planet Earth, 80% is bound up in polar ice caps and glaciers. Yes, it is also correct. Major part of it is in glaciers. See 80-85 इतना एग्जैक्ट फिगर इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट. रफली याद रखिए 80% का मतलब है मेजर पार्ट. थर्ड, ऑन द प्लैनेट अर्थ ऑफ द टोटल फ्रेश वाटर अवेलेबल फॉर यूज द लार्जेस्ट प्रोपोर्शन एग्जिस्ट एज ग्राउंड वाटर. फॉर यूज, जो यूज के लिए है उसमें लार्जेस्ट प्रोपोर्शन है ग्राउंड वाटर. इट इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट. अगर यहां ये लिखा नहीं होता है तो फ्रेश वाटर अवेलेबल देन इट इज एग्जिस्ट इन ग्राउंड वाटर, देन इट इज रॉन्ग बिकॉज इट इज इन पोलर आइस कैप्स. Be careful with the statements. So all are correct here. Next, I want you to understand biotic components. Already you have seen abiotic components. Now understand biotic components. इसमें दो चीज आपको बताना चाहिए. Autotrophs. Autotrophs means they use simple inorganic substances like CO2, carbon dioxide, water, like that, and to sunlight and all. Then they build complex organic substances which is known as food. So examples are green plants. That means they do photosynthesis. Hope you are getting. Then heterotrophs are consumers. Heterotrophs are consumers means they cannot produce their own food. They depend on producers. Examples animals and man. Out of that, decomposers are also there. Decomposers are saprotrophs. क्या करता है? They also cannot produce their own food, but they degrade the complex organic substance into simpler compounds. Examples are bacteria and fungi. So bacteria and fungi are examples of saprotrophs. They decompose. They get energy from decomposition. Consumers get energy from these autotrophs. Autotrophs, what they do? They create their own food. And what is food chain? Food chain illustrates the order in which a chain of organisms feed upon each other. How they get food from what? All this order of this availability of food is known as food chain. Now take eighth question. With reference to the food chains in ecosystem, which of the following kinds of organisms is known as saprotrophs? Saprotrophs means decomposers. So bacteria and fungi are saprotrophs. Green plants are autotrophs. Animals are consumers, are heterotrophs. So here virus is not. So 2 and 3 the answer. B the answer. Question number 9. Consider the following statements. Autotrophs convert the free energy into potential energy through a process known as photosynthesis. Yes, they convert the free energy into potential energy. Potential energy means food using the process known as photosynthesis. It is correct. B, second statement. A food chain illustrates the order in which a chain of organisms feed upon each other. Yes, how the chain of organisms feed upon each other, it is what is known as food chain. So both 1 and 2 are correct here. Next, I want you to understand various interactions between these living organisms. So out of these interactions, first we will see positive interactions. Mutualism. Mutualism में both species are mutually benefited. Best example is lichens. Lichens, this is a relationship between algae and fungus. algae को water and protection मिलता है, fungus को food मिलता है algae से. So both are getting benefited. Next, symbiosis. It is also a type of mutualism. Generally यह close and often long term interaction होता है, ज्यादा देर के लिए मिलके रहता है, दोनों को benefit होता है यहाँ भी. Examples are nitrogen fixing rhizobium bacteria. इस बैक्टीरिया को ये बैक्टीरिया नाइट्रोजन को फिक्स करने से लेग्यूमिनस प्लांट्स का रूट्स को नाइट्रोजन मिलता है, इन टर्न इस बैक्टीरिया को फूड मिलता है रूट से। Similarly, coral reefs. Coral reefs is symbiotic relation between algae and corals. Corals को color and attraction मिलता है, algae को shelter मिलता है, दोनों get benefited. Then proto cooperation. Proto cooperation generally ये क्या है? This is benefited again to both, but you know ये temporary होता है, या ये का मतलब it is not mandatory. ये जरूरी नहीं होता है living के लिए. For example, sea anemone. Sea anemone क्या करता है? It attaches itself to the shell of hermit to travel to new feeding areas. Sea anemone looks like a plant. So when it attaches itself to the shell of hermit crab, when it can travel, crab will take it to long distance. इसको benefit मिल रहा है. In turn, crab को क्या मिल रहा है? Protection मिल रहा है predator से. उसको दिखेगा नहीं crab. ये लगेगा ये कोई plant है. So दोनों को बेनिफिट मिलेगा. Similarly, pollination of flowers, this kind of examples. Then commensalism. Commensalism में क्या होता है? एक को बेनिफिट मिलता है, दूसरे को कोई इफेक्ट नहीं होता है, ना बेनिफिट मिलता है ना नुकसान होता है. एग्जाम्पल इज एपीफाइट्स. एपीफाइट्स में क्या होता है? These are small plants that grow on bigger trees. इससे क्या होता है? ये ट्री का कोई फूड को यूज नहीं करेगा. ये प्लांट इट डज इट्स ओन फोटोसिंथेसिस. सो ट्री का कोई नुकसान नहीं हो रहा है, बट प्लांट का क्या बेनिफिट मिल रहा है? शेल्टर मिल रहा है. So one will get benefited, other will not be affected. That is called commensalism. Hope you understand. Epiphytes. Similarly, suckerfish and shark. वे suckerfish क्या करता है? ये shark को attach करता है. जो shark खाना खाने के बाद जो भी बचता है, like residual food, उसको खाता है. उसकी खाना में से नहीं खाता है. जो बच गया है, जो shark नहीं खाना चाहता है, उसको खाता है. तो obviously shark को कोई नुकसान नहीं हो रहा है, suckerfish को खाना मिल रहा है. So one get benefited, other will not be affected. That is called commensalism. Now we will see negative interactions, competition and exploitation. You can understand, competition होता है तो दोनों को नुकसान है. Exploitation में भी एक दूसरे को exploit करेगा तो एक को नुकसान हो रहा है. तो negative interaction. Antibiosis. Antibiosis क्या होता है? Production of secretions by an organism which is harmful to others. कुछ organism ऐसा secretions करता है जिससे दूसरे को नुकसान होता है. तो किसी को एक को फायदा नहीं हो रहा है, दूसरे को नुकसान हो रहा है. किसी को फायदा नहीं हो रहा है बट एक को नुकसान हो रहा है. दैट इज एंटीबायोसिस. पैरासिटिज्म मींस पैरासाइट इज एन ऑर्गेनिज्म व्हिच डिराइव्स नरिशमेंट फ्रॉम द टिश्यूज ऑफ अनदर लार्ज ऑर्गेनिज्म. दैट मींस ये क्या कर रहा है? वे किसी का खाना खा रहा है. दैट मींस जिसका खाना खा रहा है उसको नुकसान हो रहा है. ओके, पैरासिटिज्म. दीज आर ऑल नेगेटिव इंटरेक्शंस. Now take the 10th question. Which of the following statement is true with respect to commensalism and interaction between organisms? What is commensalism? This is an interaction between organisms where one will not get affected, other will get benefited, right? It is a positive interaction. एक को प्लस होगा, दूसरे को कोई इफेक्ट नहीं होगा. सो ऐसा ऑप्शन कहां पे है? सो ए इज रॉन्ग, बी इज रॉन्ग, सी देखिए इन विच वन स्पीसीज गेट बेनिफिटेड whereas other species get adversely affected. C is also wrong. D देखिए commensalism is an interaction between species in which one species get benefited whereas other species neither get benefited nor adversely affected. So answer is D. 11th question. Which of the following is not an example of symbiosis relation? Corals and algae is an example of symbiosis. Leguminous plants and rhizobium bacteria is also an example of symbiosis. Epiphytes and trees is an example of commensalism. So 1 and 2 are examples of symbiosis. 3 is not an example of symbiosis. So the answer is C. He is asking which of the following is not an example of symbiosis. So C the answer. Hope you got it. Next I want you to understand various cycles. Water cycle, carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, like that. Water cycle इतना समझ लीजिए कौन सी एक्टिविटीज वाटर को प्लैनेट पे लेके आता है, कौन सी एक्टिविटीज वाटर को प्लैनेट से लेके जाता है. सो एड्स वाटर. Example is precipitation. Precipitation adds water to planet. And what removes water from planet? Evaporation and transpiration. बस इतना याद रखिए. Hope you understand. Next we'll see oxygen cycle. What adds oxygen? Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis में क्या होता है? Carbon dioxide will be taken and oxygen will be released. So oxygen will be added. And what removes oxygen? Simple. Respiration. Next, carbon cycle. This is very important. What adds carbon? Respiration. Decay of organic matter. Organic matter carbon होता है ना? तो it also adds burning of coal. Coal भी carbon ही है. So burning of coal. Even volcanic eruption, इससे भी कार्बन आता है. These are all activities which add carbon. And what remove carbon? Simply photosynthesis. Photosynthesis remove carbon. right? Plants will take carbon in photosynthesis, so carbon will decrease. Next, nitrogen cycle. This is also important. Adds nitrogen. Which add nitrogen? Excretion of urea by animals. इसमें nitrogen होता है. Death of vegetation. उसमें nitrogen होता है. Rhizobium bacteria. It will fix nitrogen from atmosphere. And what removes? Denitrification. Nitrogen जो soil में है, it can be through denitrification. It will go back into atmosphere. Burning of biomass. Biomass में nitrogen होता है. अगर इसको burn करेंगे तो that will go. Nitrogen will go into atmosphere. Now take 12th question. Consider the following: photosynthesis, respiration, decay of organic matter, volcanic action. So which of the above add carbon dioxide to the carbon cycle on Earth? Photosynthesis does not add. Photosynthesis will take. So one is wrong. If one is wrong, A is eliminated, D is eliminated. Respiration, yes, 2 is there. Decay of organic matter, yes, इससे भी carbon होता है. Volcanic action, yes. So 2, 3, 4. C the answer. Next, 13th question. Which of the following adds nitrogen to the soil? Excretion of urea by animals? Yes, it adds nitrogen to the soil. Burning of coal by man? No. Burn करेंगे तो वे अगर नाइट्रोजन हो भी होता है कोल में, it will go away, right? Moreover, it is coal. नाइट्रोजन जो बायोमास में होता है. Death of vegetation? Yes. Vegetation का death होता है तो that will be with rhizobium bacteria and all that will go into the soil. So 1 and 3 will add nitrogen to the soil. So answer is C. So this is part 1. Hope you got it.